All right, we're off to a classy start here. And Men with Advanced Degrees play
Wait, are you recording video too?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Are we recording video too?
We are, in fact, recording, believe it or not. So, my name is going to be Longhand, and we are going to play this game. We're going to journey back to 1792 in the Transylvanian countryside of Romania.
Oh, is that where they invented Romania lettuce?
I like
and
to.
Romania
I gotta take
cheese?
a piss. Hold on.
It's okay. Paul doesn't need to see this anyway. It's just like a GIF of what you would have seen either way. This is where we would normally edit in. There's a certain person in popular dialogue right now who is a big fan of getting pissed on.
Oh, that is unsubstantiated rumor about my beloved leader. Okay?
There's
no proof that he enjoys pissing on the faces of young women.
I never said anything about him enjoying pissing on other people. I just, they're unsubstantiated claims that, it's like the first thing I didn't want to talk about in this episode was politics, and I just started right off with talking about.
Man, we better start actually re-recording. Although if we do that, you won't be able to hear me piss again. So.
Well, it's fine. Let's
gonna be a recurring theme in our Let's Play series. Every episode you're gonna hear one of us piss.
So I need to explain the rules of how we're gonna do this, right?
Absolutely.
So I play a lot of
Castlevania
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, by the way.
Quit sliding.
For those of you who probably can't read the title of this video.
The title that will be above this video on YouTube.
Exactly.
Or are so ignorant of video game history that, like me, they've never actually seen Castlevania Symphony of the Night until today.
Yeah. So I play this game about once per year. It's one of the most iconic games, probably in history.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute?
Wow.
You steal men's souls
Tribute.
and make them your slaves.
I bet it's those dastardly Turks.
Right. You can't hear it, but there's voice actors.
Your words are as empty as your soul.
There's voice actors.
Mankind ill needs a savior.
It's true. I can't hear it.
What is a man?
Is it a mistake to talk over the voice
Miserable
actors?
little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Yes, it's always a mistake to talk over the voice actors in this game.
Okay, I'll keep that. I'm sorry to all of our loyal listeners out there that I ruined that dramatic moment where we got to learn about Dracula receiving tribute. And now we're gonna look at Dracula. Now, how historically accurate is this game, Dane? Could Dracula really shoot fireballs? Was that how he defeated the Turks in the Battle of Wallachia in 1473?
Yes.
Well, he could even shoot larger fireballs, it seems. What an incredible man.
I mean, if I knew a guy who could shoot giant fireballs, I would make him my prince.
Well, of course. Sorry, it's hard to focus on kicking Dracula's ass and talking at the same time. Surprisingly challenging, actually.
Okay, so here's what I think we're gonna do. While you're doing the hard parts of the video game, Paul, you and I, since you know this game, we'll discuss the intimate details of the game while Dane focuses on being the greatest Castlevania player of his generation.
It's really, the game is honestly, it has a lot of themes, which are very deep. One of them is about picking your nose before you know that some asshole is recording you. The other is about, hitting a guy with a whip, which is kind of similar to, gay sex.
Cool, I'm done focusing. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Hey, what happened?
One of the other major themes of Castlevania is kneeling below a monster's crotch and just beating the shit out of it with a whip.
That's
while being sucked into what appears to be a black hole.
That's chaos. That's because Dracula is a creature of chaos, and which you'll know if you play one of the other games in this series for the Game Boy Advance. There's all this chaos in him.
He's just so chaotic. He's so
chaotic. He was only captured in a Polaroid.
Guys, I gotta level with you. Like, this is probably the most batshit insane introduction to anything anyone's probably ever gonna watch in their entire life.
Now, this is legitimately awesome. Like, this music to this is awesome.
It was Richter Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter, who succeeded in finally ending the menace of Count Dracula, Lord of the Vampires, who had been brought back from the grave to the Dark Priest by the Dark Priest Shaft. Not confused with Shaft Goes to Africa.
Is that Shaft? That's different than Shaft is in Shaft Goes to Africa. This is a different Shaft?
So Richter...
This is when Shaft goes to Transylvania and becomes a Dark Priest.
Becomes and by Dark Priest,
Guys, did you know that Maria Renard, her last name Renard means fox in French, because this takes place in France, or at least the France of Eastern Europe, Poland.
Doesn't this take place in Romania?
I don't fucking know. I don't know why her last name is Fox in French. It should be Fox in Romanian.
Well, look at her. She's like a stone cold
fox.
We'll meet her in the Marble Gardens. You guys can evaluate yourselves.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that little fox. Here we go. Word reference to.
So just really quickly, this is a good time, as good a time as any to like explain the rules. Paul, is there any chance, or like Brian, could one of you guys keep like a timer every 15 minutes? So what's gonna happen?
I can look at my clock.
Brian doesn't know dick about this game. Paul does know dick about this game.
That's an understatement.
I gotta tell you something. I need you to know that a fox in Romanian is vulpe.
Cool. Anyway, so what these guys are gonna do is they are going to determine what armor and weapon I use every 15 minutes of the game.
Based largely on entirely arbitrary reasons. See, I'm thinking of this fashion consultant. I want Alucard to be a super attractive, sophisticated-looking vampire. So I'm going to use basically the same criteria I'd use to yell at people when I watch Project Runway.
Watch out for that wolf. Oh, it caught on fire.
That's not a very strong wolf if all it does is catch on... All you have to do is with a whip and he catches on fire. Why were men so scared of wolves for centuries and centuries?
I don't understand how it just got brighter when you're knocking out all the candles.
The sun is compensating, you know?
Oh, it's his vampire eyes adjusting to the vampire gloom.
Exactly.
Oh wait, so let me ask you a question, Dane. Who is this character?
So this is Alucard. He's the son of Dracula.
Oh, a pot roast. Does he always find pot roast in rocks?
Every Castlevania character finds pot roast in rocks, Paul. I don't know if you're new to Castlevania, but pot roast in rocks is like one of the staples of this franchise. And Brian, I bet right now you're thinking I'm fucking around and joking, but I am dead serious. Like every fucking game, you punch a wall, you find a pot roast. You punch a wall, you find a pot roast. It's like no joke.
Turkey.
That's well, you know, that makes perfect sense because if you are as familiar as I am, Transylvanian and Wallachian and Moldovan culture, that's actually a cultural custom of theirs. They like to make really elaborate pot roast dinners and then brick them into their walls so they can eat them later in emergencies, like when the Nazis invade, or the Soviets invade, or the Turks invade, or the Hungarians invade, or the Austrians invade.
I heard that there were a lot of Albanians who went into Montenegro, and you know the Albanians are all Muslims, and the Montenegrins are like just people. But so the as soon as they got into Montenegro, they were like, what a nice place, and they bought real estate and they settled down. But then they opened up the walls, and there was pork, and they all had to go back to Albania because of these goddamn Montenegrins just putting pork in their walls to scare off good Alatherian Muslims like the Albanians are.
Cool.
Wow.
I'm starting a timer right now. 15 minutes, you guys get to determine my armor. For the first 15 minutes, I'm just going to set myself up with whatever I find, since I have nothing right now.
Can I determine that you hit that candelabra to get $200?
This isn't a choose-your-own-adventure, Paul. You only get to call what weapons I use.
Well, short sword. No, I want you to use the pot roast. Attack everything with the pot roast.
When we did the practice playthrough on this, I told him to do exactly the same thing. I wanted him to wield the pot roast.
Oh, it's Zoe's cube. I didn't know she left it there. Maybe we should give it back to her.
Well, you know, the thing about Zoe's cube is that it actually allows items to materialize from candles once you hit them, like hearts and shit, you know, like primarily hearts.
What it does?
Yes.
Is Zoe an actual character in the Castlevania games? Like, are we going to meet Zoe later?
No. Cube of Zoe, it might even just be the Cube of Zoe. I don't know how you pronounce that shit.
Well, if you consider that the ancient Japanese, in their supreme culture, might say Zoe, maybe it's Zoe.
That's true. That is the original Japanese pronunciation of Z-O-E. So,
Oh, like, really? Because I thought it was Joey, because they don't have the Z phoneme.
No, they do.
That's Koreans, dude.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm not going to be racist and assume that Japanese people and Koreans have the same phonemes in their language. I speak English, man. You know how far away that is from Korea to Japanese?
Listen, little brother country, big brother country. They're the same.
But which one is which, we'll never say. Because whatever one we say, the other will destroy us.
We'll create a real. That's a great way to get views. We'll create a really angry flame war in our Let's Play comment section between Korean and Japanese ultra nationalists.
Was somebody just in that secret chamber that you have to jump to get into, making life ups secretly with alchemy?
That's the best I got, man. Possibly, probably. Who knows? This is like the weirdest room in the game because there are two secrets, like, right next to each other.
And we're bouncing up these platforms that aren't actually stairs. Interesting architectural choice to place platforms in the middle of empty spaces so that only people who can jump like 12 feet at a time can climb, can get from one floor to the other.
Well, as you'll know if you play this game enough, actually, this castle is the creature of chaos, which is why it can do that.
Well,
the architect of my castle
is the thing
anarchy.
About video game castles in general. They don't really make a lot of sense. You'll find.
There's hardly any video games, especially old video games I've ever played, where the interiors of buildings make any sense with regards to the exteriors.
Can you imagine living in Wily's castle, man? Imagine it's like, well, I've got this 50-yard drop through like 2 walls that are lined with spikes in a way that is incredibly inopportune to try and get to the bathroom. Jesus Christ.
It's true. I also found, and like, you know, it's even like I remember thinking when I was a kid playing Sonic the Hedgehog and like playing the levels there, I'm like, you know, this carnival, no one would want to go to this carnival. You can't get from one side to the other. Where's all the rides? It's like it was built purposely for Sonic. It broke my suspension of disbelief.
That's when you realized that Sonic was bad.
So I realized that video games were not like realistic interpretations of reality.
So you guys ready for the first boss?
Oh, I can't wait to fight this boss.
Oh, look,
here he goes.
It's a bone goose carried by a gargoyle.
He's just like, he doesn't even attack you with his spear. He just kind of aims for you and then just like falls like really shittily, like he's not even trying. Holy shit, he's just vomited at you. That was pretty hardcore.
Ah, fuck, that's a whiff.
What did you just do?
Laser
also, I'm pretty sure it wasn't actually a whiff. I'm pretty sure, like, you hit the one guy.
Well, you know, it's like, if Slogger hadn't walked into it, he would have been a total whiff.
Which one is Slagra?
Oh, excuse me, Gaben. Gaben's the blue gargoyle. Slogger is the bone goose.
Yeah, I was pretty sure Slagra was the bone goose.
Thank you for correcting me, Paul.
I don't know anything about this game. Wow, a short sword.
Oh, cool! I'm so excited to accessorize that short sword later when our timer runs out.
I'm already wielding a short sword, guys. Don't get too excited.
Oh.
Come on, wield 2.
Dual sword, dual wield.
I'll be like a rogue in World of Warcraft. It'll be great.
Can we make you wield just shields?
So here's pretty much my policy on the gear that you're gonna make me wear. If it sucks, I'm just gonna spam Hellfire and Soul Steel. So
you cheap bastard.
So don't. If you guys try and fuck me over, like, I'm gonna find a way, and it's not gonna be entertaining for you.
Is that his normal standing pose where he just like kind of puffs out his arms a lot?
What if we accidentally fuck you over? Because here's the thing. I don't know enough about the mechanics of this game to conscientiously do either.
Well, here's like what the scenario that was just described to me, Brian. Imagine any video game where you're forced to wield 2 shields. How effective do you think your character is going to be at that point?
I don't know. Some games you can do some really sweet shield bashing. Like,
I guess like Dark Souls, maybe. That might work there. You can wield 2 shields and you can just block guys and like shove them off cliffs.
I don't think any of the Elder Scrolls games would let you dual wield shields.
I remember when I played Morrowind, I'd always wield a candelabra in my offhand.
Oh yeah.
I always thought that was really charming.
That's right. I remember doing that when I would like go into like dark caves and stuff. Especially, there's an item you can get in that game. Let's talk about a video game entirely different than the one we're playing. You can get the boots of blinding speed in that game, which make you almost blind, so you can't see anything. It gets really dark, and so you have to like everywhere you go. I had to carry the candelabra around so that I could see.
I do gotta
had so much blood in it.
Like those guys, those bloody zombies, probably have the most.
They're called bloody zombies because of all the blood. So wait, did you not just equip stuff with magic resist on it?
Yeah, I did do that once I figured that out.
Oh,
the first time I did it with a Breton who has like, the automatic magic resistance. There was one character that I played, I remember, where I didn't, before I realized how magic resistance worked, where I got the boots of blinding speed and it was like an Argonian or something. No, it wasn't Argonian, like some person, like a Khajiit or something. And I would just, literally, I would go blind. I couldn't see anything, and I would just steer based on the mini-map. So I would just run really fast, like up to like Ghost Gate or something. And then like turn around and discover that I was being followed by like 30 pterodactyls and 16 Dremora, and like would have a horrible fight where I would be like massacred each time by all the enemies that had started tracking me on my run. And that's when I learned that wasn't a great plan.
That's great. Don't get poisoned by that bitch.
I'm already poisoned, Paul.
Oh no! Take the antidote potion. Drink the potion.
I probably have one, but it's not worth equipping to like.
Wait.
I've only got 5 minutes before you guys start dictating what gear I wear, so I want to make sure I clear as much of this as possible before shit gets dire.
Oh, we were talking about games that like had like realistic seeming interiors, like where it seemed like maybe people could function in some capacity. Did you guys ever play what was it called? Dang it, I thought I would think of it by the time I finished that sentence. It was not. The Sims was the least realistic interiors of any game that I have ever played. Devil May Cry. That's what it was called. Devil May Cry. Because I remember, because
that was the one where you played as an anime devil.
You played as an anime like devil guy with a big sword, and you would fight demons. But like, they laid out the house in that. It wasn't like it was laid out in such a way as to be realistic, but they did. Maybe this is just the nature of the fact that they had like, it came out like probably 7 years after Castlevania, so they had technology advanced, maybe a decade after. But they made it feel like kind of people could live in there, right? With like the way they set up the libraries and the hallways and stuff, it felt like, oh, this is kind of a real place. Like this could have been some rich guy's palace like 100 years ago before this motorcycle riding demon slayer, who's actually a demon with a giant sword and an anime haircut, showed up to shoot things with guns.
Spirit Orb! What does the Spirit Orb do?
Oh, that allows you to see the damage that you're dealing to enemies.
Wow, don't go in there. That's full of the tough guys. You'll die.
Yeah, watch me die. Oh,
give me a tough boy, tough boy, tough boy, tough boy.
It's it's Argo Golski.
Are we already breaking out the G Gundam references?
We are breaking out the G Gundam references because I thought that would please you, Dane, as G Gundam's #1 super fan.
Hey, Brian, do you know who this enemy is? He's Skelerang. That's a skeleton with boomerangs. That's his name is Skelerang. That's not the part where you die. It's not the Argo Golski. It's the big demon dude later on.
Oh, the Cthulhu, yeah.
Yeah, right. Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. God, Paul, learn the fucking lore.
That's from World of Warcraft. That's from. I'm pretty sure this guy's not. I think he's like Cthulhu instead of Cthulhu. But Cthulhu is from WoW, dude.
You're right. It's Cthulhu. Oh, fuck off. Oh, holy shit, I've never seen that attack before. I've literally never seen that in, like, all of the years that I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
I think you did, but then you blocked it out to make yourself feel more powerful.
Equip the pot roast. Equip the pot roast.
Wait, why'd you use that potion? You could have just thrown the pot roast on the ground and eaten it. Use your resist thunder potion in case he thunders.
Fight the cattywampus. 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 Fight the cattywampus.
Nice, dude.
Cool backwards dash dance.
That would have been. That is perhaps the most. Wow, that would have been an embarrassing way to die.
You would have never lived it down.
I know.
All the Castlevania nerds on the internet would have made fun of you. How dare you die against the cattywampus doom?
Yeah, like I said, usually I kill that guy fast enough for it not to matter. Now that I'm down here, I'm gonna save where you go back up that way, which sucks.
Okay, well that's good because the timer's about out, right?
Yeah, I got a minute and 37 seconds to kill Cthulhu before you guys get to tell me what to wear.
Okay, before we force you to equip that pot roast.
So I'm gonna there's gonna be some rules about what you can tell me to and to not.
No rules. No rules. He's scared. He's scared of us. So you have like 3 weapons. Like, what could we do to you?
It's true. I have to have at least 1 weapon. Like that's gonna be the major qualifier.
Yeah, sure. You can have a weapon. I mean, a pot roast is a weapon. In the hands of heart disease.
What? Is that what you're doing here? You're just gonna run past?
Yeah. Well, he almost kicked my ass just a second ago. Like, I'm not gonna play with fire.
What? What a bad playthrough. We should be like getting dirty.
He's doing the MacArthur thing. He's gonna cut it off from the vine and let it rot on the vine. Like, isolating. Whatever it is that MacArthur did to those islands in the South Pacific where he wouldn't attack the Japanese strongpoints.
I like how the Skelerang has special gloves to use his rings. His boomerangs.
You know, I mean, what are gloves but the rich man's boomerang? Or the skeleton's boomerang? Oh man,
that guy got destroyed by fireballs. Wow.
Hey guys, you'll never guess what time it is.
Time to get out.
Time to figure out what I'm gonna wear for next episode of Men with Advanced Degrees Play.